Boom. Okay. It's Tuesday night, Rockstar Rally. And actually, I should have my phone in here because Riley's like on the struggle bus going to sleep tonight. You know what I'm saying? All you mamas, you know what I'm saying? She's fighting it. Bridget's closing a party right now. Obsessed. That's so good. Hey, everybody. Okay, so welcome to Rockstar Rally. It's Tuesday night. It's our best night of the week. And if you didn't notice, I have a special guest with me tonight.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan, also known as Mr. Jennifer Anderson.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. He is a kept man. Just kidding. Actually, I like to say that, though. It makes me feel good. All right. So we're going to dive right in tonight because I have a guest speaker. And hi, Court. That way we get to, hi, Sydney. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Barbara. I'm like seeing people's faces pop on. It's so good. That way we aren't here till 10 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? And we can dive right in and really get to the nitty gritty. So I'm excited about what Nathan's going to share with you guys tonight. We've been talking about recruiting, by the way. Has anyone done the challenges that we talked about last week? I see some hands. Okay, good. Oh, good. Bridget said she filled out 1 week. So if you don't know what those are, we really dove into recruiting last week, and you can go watch the recording on our YouTube channel. And it talks about creating your dream team list. So we talked about a dream team list and how to start connecting with people. So hopefully we're going to reap the rewards of recruiting because we have 4 more days in this month. 4 more days. So if you didn't know, we have an entire catalog leaving. Okay. So make sure your customers are aware of that. I feel like we're not emphasizing that things are going away. We have a ton of Counter Clean going away, a ton of Scentsy Fresh. People's favorite laundry fragrances are leaving, like Ocean, White Tea, and Cactus. I have clients that only use White Tea and Cactus for the last 6 years, and they're devastated. So they have to find new scents, and or they're spending $200 on Laundry Loves because it's going away. So make sure your customers know we have so much going away in the next few days. And best thing ever, brand new catalog. It's coming. I was just preparing my customer mailouts today. Where'd they even go? Oh, they're over there. I was just preparing my customer mailouts today. Yeah, just the top one. And I'm purely obsessed with every single new release. Everyone. This is the first time in 9 years that I've been with Scentsy that I'm legitimately every single fragrance I'm going to warm. I'm going to warm every single one. I'm obsessed with every single one. Nail on the head, out of the park, really well done. So this is going to be a bomb.com season. I really hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I hope you're front loading your calendars. I hope you're ready to roll because it's going to be so good. So without further ado,
all right,
Mr. Anderson.
So my name's Nathan. Some of you guys know me. Some of you guys don't. I want to kind of get involved with the business a little more and do some trainings, not just to help everyone out and learn myself, but what you guys have to offer. But I also want to let you guys know that I'm available for one-on-one coaching. So right now, what I do is one-on-one coaching with superstar consultants and up. Okay. I want to meet more of you. I want to help more of you with your journey because that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years with Enterprise is a lot of coaching, personal development, leadership development, and business development. And that's what I love to do. And sorry, I'm kind of looking left, looking right. We got so much stuff on the screen. I can't it's weird for me to stare at the camera. So forgive me. But that's kind of my joy. That's my passion. I really love helping others achieve their dreams and achieving more than they ever thought they could. And I get just as much in return, learning from people, hearing their stories. And honestly, I say it, but I actually learn a lot more than I give, which helps me become a better coach and a better mentor. So what coaching calls look like with me is, number one, I don't bite. I do exist. I know I don't have Facebook. I'm sorry. I'm not like the rest of the world.
I'm working on it, you guys. Like I'm trying to
That's why
make
I'm so
him.
happy all the time is I don't have Facebook. So
That's Stacy. She's
yeah,
so pumped that you don't. She's like, go on,
yeah.
bro.
So what it looks like, there's no real structure. Okay. The reason I don't have structured coaching calls is because I don't like to enter my calls with bias. And bias isn't bad. Bias is just like my own personal thoughts imposing them on you. My job is to learn who you are, what you want, how you want to succeed, what that looks like to you, because everybody's different. Sometimes when you structure your coaching call, what happens is you get really good at turning people into little yous. People don't want to be little yous. They want to be versions of themselves. So that's one of the reasons I do that. But it's basically, I learn about you, you learn about me, and then we learn how together we can help meet your needs and help you move your business forward and yourself forward, part of the personal development. So I want to kind of segue into why I'm here today and what we're going to talk about. Jen put out a picture that was kind of like your vision, your experience, your choice, your freedom, your life, your way, how to get what you really want, I think is verbatim what the kind of picture said. And, some of you might have came into this call thinking, having the expectation, what, it's going to be about goals. It's going to be about goal clarity. It's going to be about accountability and organization and blah, blah, blah. Well, I hate to disappoint you. That's not what this call is going to be about. This isn't going to be one of those sessions. Now, those things are very important. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes we just need to look at the fundamentals of what drives us to do what we do. This is going to be more about making things fun for yourself and your business. Okay. So first, before we get into the fun, let's talk about your vision. Okay. Your experience. Some people, they want to make $300 a month. That may be you. Some people may want to make their house payment with Cincy money. Some people may want to grow a team with Cincy. Other people, they may just want to flat out be the breadwinner in their house. They want to make, no argument, more money than anybody in their household.
That's like my favorite part about this business, by the way, is that it can be anything for anyone, and I always tell people that, like, when they join me and when they join my team, I'm always like, look, this can be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be like a tank of gas or a date night, like once a month for your family, it can be that. You don't have to look like me. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to, but if you want to earn vacations, if you want to quit your job, if you want to whatever, it can be that too. If you want it to be a serious side hustle and like buffer your savings, like it can do that. And that's legit my favorite part about this business, is that it's for everyone. Like, it's not just for one type of person or one type of goal or one type of background. Like, it's for anyone and everyone. And it's even like not just for women, it's for men and for women. It's for young and for old. It's for high school dropouts and people who have doctorate degrees, like, and everything in between. And that's like my most favorite part about this business. So I love it.
Who's that right there, babe?
That's Sydney.
Sydney, we just had a moment. Her man was getting all up in the camera and I started laughing. Okay. What's going on? So at the end of the day, it's your experience. And Jen and I really want to help you make the most of what you want out of it. Here's the funny thing about Cincy is sometimes you enter into Cincy wanting something, and other times you enter into Cincy and what you want changes. I'll share a quick little story, and I know this story is about some of you guys and someone in particular that I know. I'm not going to mention any names, but I know somebody that entered Cincy. They just wanted to make a little extra money for their nails and their hair, right? Just to go get the petty manis or whatever they are. And next day, a few months later, my wife came up to me and said, "Hey, can I make the house payment?" And I was kind of like, what? And then she told me she wanted to grow a team. And then little did I know she was going to become the breadwinner. So I know you guys are sitting on the edge of your seats wondering who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention any names, okay?
It's me. I'll mention the name.
So at the end of the day, that's all fine and dandy, but
did you say breadwinner? Can you say that again?
breadwinner.
I like that.
You may be asking, like, how do I really get what I want? What's this have to do with me? That's kind of, our story. Now at the end of the day, it all starts with you. No one else, you. So let's chat about that for a second. There's several things we could talk about. Okay. Just a few things that we could talk about. Are you setting yourself up for success? Are you surrounding yourself with people that support you, or are you surrounding yourself with people that pull you back? Do you know what you want out of all of this? These are all great questions. Do you have measurables that can keep you accountable to hitting higher goals? Do you ever compare to yourself to others, which can have a negative impact? Have you ever self-sabotaged yourself in life or in business because you don't feel like you're worth more? Okay, that's a real serious topic. How do you hold yourself accountable? How do you reward yourself? Those are all important topics, but they're not what we're going to talk about today.
And I will say, like, maybe we won't talk about those now, but if you guys coach with us, we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about those hardcore. Okay. So if you're superstar consultant, you're able to coach with Nathan. Anyone is able to coach with me. Okay. But if you enter into a coaching with either one of us, we're going to dive into those things on a very personal level. And we're going to help you uncover areas that can really just take your business to the next level.
So the topic, drum roll, what we're going to talk about today is little wins. That's right. We're going to talk about little wins, okay? Because they have a domino effect on yourself and your business. Now, as I unfold a little bit about how little wins can impact you, I want you guys to participate in chat. If you really want to chime in, like, unmute yourself, speak up. Like, I love participation because it's a two-way street communication. So please chime in. And the reason I want you guys to do that is it's always good to share with others how you stay positive, what your little wins are, how you keep things fun. Because more times than not, someone else in this room may be doing the same thing that you are doing, but they're not giving themselves credit for it. Okay, you may be doing something and you might be going back and just relaxing the rest of the day because you got it knocked out. You might have got like 15 samples made, and someone else might be like, you know what, I got 15 samples made, I failed, I got this like headache, I got the anxiety, I got to get more done, and you're like, hey, I just had a win. So share in the chat, participate what your little wins are, and you'd be surprised how many other people are doing those things and maybe not rewarding themselves. Okay. So little wins, big results. What is it? When you look at life in general, it's very complicated. This world is very complicated. But when you really focus, let's narrow it down, our focus from the broad spectrum, you're going to find out that there's three main things that kind of impact you daily. Then there's subcategories to these three things, but there's three things that kind of impact a person day to day. Number one is responsibilities, right? What are responsibilities? Cost of living, family, personal activities, work, appointments, etc. Doctor's appointment, whatever. You have responsibilities in your day-to-day life. I think everybody would agree with that. You have relationships in your day-to-day life. That may be a spouse, a significant other. That could be family, customers, friends, mentors, coworkers, anybody. We have responsibilities and we have relationships. And the third thing that hopefully you have in your day and are a part of 1 and 2 are fun. Okay. Fun is anything that excites you. It brings you joy. It kind of like the salt in your food, it brings flavor forward. That's the things that you enjoy in life. So as I'm talking about today with little wins and things like that, I'm going to kind of go into detail, but I want you to remember this above all else. Fun equals sustainable. Okay. Now I want you guys to flip back in your memory banks and think when you joined Cincy. You were excited, right? whether it was the person that introduced you to it, whether it was the product itself, whether it was the fact that you don't have to smell wet dog around your house anymore, whatever it was, something excited you about joining Scentsy. You don't look at a product, I don't care what it is, and say, that doesn't excite me. I would love to do that the rest of my life, right? Nobody does that. Who does that? Especially when it's an option. Now, some of us are forced into jobs where it's not exciting, but we have what? Number one, responsibilities we have to take care of, right? So what happens? We may go to a job that we do not enjoy. Scentsy is not something you have to do. It's something you want to do. So think about the moment that excited you to be like, man, I can get freedom. I can be my own boss. I love this product. This is awesome. Okay. Fun is your happy place, and that makes it sustainable. If Scentsy becomes not fun with you, what's going to happen psychologically is you're going to withdraw. You're going to detach. You're going to pull back from it. Whether it's the right thing or wrong thing for your life, you're going to mentally detach yourself. Okay. So get back to your fun place.
Well, and there's something interesting about actually what you just said a second ago that I just thought about. Is like when we go to work, we go to our jobs, like those are things that we have to do. And it's not necessarily like by choice. It's kind of circumstance, right? A lot of things, but like Scentsy is a choice, right? Like you choose to be here, you choose to join Scentsy. So when things get hard, it's the first thing to go, because you chose to be here. It was a choice. When things get tough, it's the first thing to go. Like when things get tough, your job isn't the first thing to go, right? Your family's not the first thing to go. It's like your choices. But what happens is, I think we forget to make the connection that this choice that we made, Scentsy, can actually bring us so many other beautiful things that we really want. And by giving up this choice that we've made, right? Or putting, they say picking up and putting down your kit, or by putting down your kit when things get hard, or like stopping to work your business when things get tough. What you end up doing is like robbing yourself of all the things that you really want, you know? And so it's just so easy to like stop working your business or throw it away or put it in the back corner because you chose to be here. You can't do that with work. You can't do that with your job. You can't do that with your family. You know what I mean? So I think, and that just like hit me right now, like why we do that, because we chose to be here. It's not something that has been like forced upon us in our life. So it's interesting.
The things we don't get choices in is like having a boss, you know what I mean? So you don't have that in Scentsy. You are the boss. So fun equals sustainable. Now in your business, right? Let's be real. Is your business serious? Is there work involved? Of course there is. However, making those things fun is the foundation of long-term success, because you're going to stick with it. You're going to stick with just human beings. They stick with things they love to do, right? So some personal examples for Jen and I. How do we make our business fun? You know, look at the consequences of our hard work. We went from both working full-time jobs to dropping that down to part-time, you know, kind of weaning ourselves off being someone else's employee, to where now it's just Scentsy and we're able to dictate our own schedules.
That's pretty fun.
You know, we don't have to ask for permission to go to the bathroom and go to lunch. Or if we just wanted to up and go to Kentucky one day for whatever reason.
I am not going to Kentucky.
I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
I could have said West Virginia.
You can take me to Boston.
But,
am I right? Am I right? No. Okay, I know.
But, you know, free vacations, right? We get to travel the world with you guys, and Scentsy pays for everything, which is awesome. If we haven't traveled the world with you yet, like, get on board, guys, because it's a lot of fun.
Also, wicked fun.
Yeah.
Wicked fun. Scentsy vacations are so fun.
You know, Jen and I love coaching. That's something that we don't put a cap on it. We're not like, okay, we're only going to do this much. And like, we love when people, you know, coach with us. We love that. That's our heart, is helping others at its foundation. whether it's Cincy, church, life, neighbor, whatever it is, we have a heart for people. So that brings us joy. We love seeing customers, eyes light up when they smell a fragrance, and it brings back a special memory of a grandchild or a granddad, or, muffins that mom used to make or something like that. Like those are kind of awesome moments that we love to share. So what Jen and I are big on, and it's kind of bringing that fun into it, is we set, guys, listen, there's going to be times in your business where you have to do things that aren't the most exciting thing in the world, right? Some people love paper cuts. I don't, right? But you think about like your last 50 customers. Some folks, we do it. We mail out samples to the last 50 customers to try to get those consecutive, back-to-back orders and things like that. Are mailers the funnest thing ever? No. But what we do is we set time limits for the things that are necessary to do in our business. Okay. Now I don't want to, spoil the rest of the kind of session that we're going to have, but well, I'm not going to ruin it all. I'm going to keep moving, but we're going to revisit that, kind of setting time limits for things that are necessary. However, things that we naturally find fun. Hey, if you find sending out mail fun and hilarious, and it is just your flavor of the day, don't set a time limit on it. Do it all day if it brings you joy. But if you find things in your business that are just kind of I never want to do it, I want to procrastinate, kind of like when you're in school and they say you have a 6-week paper due. Some people are like, man, this is so awesome. They start research on day one. Some people are like me. They wait 5 weeks, 6 days, and 23 hours and 59 minutes, and then they write a paper in the last minute and hand it in. So if it's fun, don't put a time limit on it. Don't set restrictions on it if it brings you joy. If it's something that doesn't excite you, put a time limit on it. Okay. And I'm going to go into that in more detail. So let's talk a little more about what Cincy does to make this job fun, right? This experience fun. Cincy has an awesome community like no other workplace I've ever been in. Cincy has an awesome community and network of family and friends. There are relationships and bonds within Cincy that I've never witnessed in any other company.
That's true.
And that's part of the choice of being here. Mm-hmm. People become genuine, authentic friends and form genuine, authentic relationships when both parties choose to be there. You will never find that in a workplace. You know why? Because both parties are required to be there in a workplace. Okay. Cincy has room for the top at everyone if that's what you want. At Enterprise, I could only go so far because I'm not part of the Taylor family that owns Enterprise, right? I could only go so high up in the company because I'm not the family that owns it. It is what it is. In Cincy, you can get whatever paycheck you want, and you can get max level title. It's not like, Orville and Heidi are superstar directors and nobody else can achieve that level. Like there's room at the top level for everyone.
I want you to know too, like that's something I really truly believe, like deep down in my heart. And I don't think that I could be in this business if it was the type of business where I didn't feel like that level of achievement was for everyone. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do this. Like I couldn't sell that jar of sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't sell that business. Like I wouldn't be here on Tuesday night coaching calls with you guys. I wouldn't offer myself my time coaching. Like I wouldn't be doing that if I really truly didn't believe that there's room at the top for everyone. And that's like such a beautiful part about this business. And like every single person has the same opportunity to be an SSD, every single person.
Look at the way Cincy gives you freedom and empowers you to run the business the way you want to, right? At most you get a suggestion. There's no list of rules that you have to do it. Like you do it the way that makes you happy. Cincy's the funnest way that I found to make money in my experience, unless you're like a professional ice cream and donut taster, honestly. That's the only thing that I think would be funny if somebody
I do love donuts.
Paid me full time for that. So here's where we're going to get a little more serious, guys. Why are little wins so important, okay? And what happens when you never recognize the little wins, okay? You create an impact on yourself that creates like a chemical reaction in your body. First, it starts mentally, and then that turns into physically, okay? And I'm talking about like exhaustion, unwillingness to kind of do things, not wanting to move forward. So have you ever had that looming feeling that you can't escape, that you needed to get something done and you're not doing it? You don't know where to start. You think it's never going to happen because you're already you're already too deep, or today's already gone, so you're just going to put it off another day, and then that another day never comes. Few examples: weight loss, right? Getting in shape, New Year's resolution, following up with a customer, reaching out to book a party, following up on a recruiting conversation that you're kind of like, oh my gosh, so many days have passed, there's no point. Starting a recruiting conversation for somebody you know would be perfect example for Cincy, just paralysis. And you want to move forward with life. You want to enjoy your family time. You want to enjoy your day. You just worked a full Monday, right? You just work 9 to 5 or 8 to 7 or whatever your schedule is. You get home and then you just have this overwhelming feeling of anxiety, and it feels like you're never off work because you don't celebrate the little wins. You don't recognize the little wins. Okay. So let's talk about real quick what it does to you physically and mentally. Okay. When you don't celebrate the little wins, when you don't find the fun in what you do with Cincy, when you don't put time limits on the things that aren't necessarily fun, what happens is it robs you of the joy that life has to offer. You can't think about life. You can't think about friends. You can't think about family. You can't think about fun. You can't think about anything without that feeling of anxiety, frustration, or sadness. It's always there because of the feeling you're not getting done what you need to do for yourself and your business. When you feel this way, you tend to never start tasks. You always feel like you haven't done enough. You started it, but you fell off the wagon, so why even follow through with it? You know what I mean? Just that kind of attitude. When you put that mental pressure on yourself, that's what I was talking about. It also becomes a physical exhaustion. You find yourself never having energy to do anything and always wanting to do nothing at all. Okay. Do you guys know how much funner it is to binge watch your favorite show on Netflix when you don't have that feeling in the back of your head? When you can just enjoy. So let's talk about that. What's that look like? I went to the Monday, you work a full day Monday, and let's say you have 50 customers you need to follow up with. Okay. How many of you guys look and it's like the 20th or the 25th of the month and you're like, oh my gosh, these things have been sitting here since January 1st and I'm supposed to send these follow-up out, right? What if at the end of Monday, you just set 30 minutes. This is your little win. You set 30 minutes aside to do 17 follow-ups, okay? Just 17 follow-ups. And you do those 17 follow-ups in 30 minutes, and you know you need to do 50. At the end of 30 minutes, you are done, okay? You celebrate the fact that you just completed 17, because the next day, right, you're going to have 17 more done on Tuesday. Let's just say Tuesday you had a hard day at work and you set 30 minutes aside. You got 17 done. Guess what? Your third day, you only have 16 left. How much better would it feel on January 3rd because you did it in 30-minute increments on 3 different days, which we can all agree is not a lot of work. You had everything done. You now have all of your 50 customers followed up with on the 3rd day of the month, okay? So examples of little wins, okay? You book a party. Like I said, you had a rough day at work. You set 30 minutes aside to do things, okay? Those are wins. Those are wins, okay? Let's say you're responding to teamies, okay? And let's just say you had a bad day at work or whatever's going on in your life, a frustrating moment, and you're just like, I can't do this right now. You got that looming, like support the little wins, okay? If you get back to everybody within a 24-hour, 48-hour window, whatever that looks like, you don't have to get back to every single person within 10 minutes or feel overwhelmed.
Amen.
So support the little wins, okay? Don't be hard on yourself. The reason little wins turn into big results, guys, is because when you're on the 30th or the 31st, whenever the month ends, and you look back at all of your little wins, each day you're looking at it as, I didn't do a whole lot. But when you look at the cumulative total at the very end, what you realize is you did a whole lot, right? You look at the end of the month and you're like, oh, dang, you know, this was fun. I didn't even feel like I was working. I was just doing it. You know, the things that made me happy, I didn't put a limit on. But the things that I knew were necessary that I had to do, I did it in bite-sized chunks. Now, all of a sudden, I'm in the month. I have multiple recruits. My business is progressing forward. I had a successful PRV month. And when you see that cumulative total, all of a sudden, you're like, wow, this starts making sense. Okay? So To sum it up, give yourself a pat on the back for the little things that you're doing daily to move your business forward. Okay. Don't beat yourself up. Okay. Don't compare yourself to others and be like, oh, well, they did more. My dad told me when I was a young man, okay, I would say young man, I was a little boy. I was like 5 years old. Okay. This is how I learned this lesson. There was a tractor trailer that was an open air tractor trailer. It was just a flatbed. And as a little kid, you see every tractor trailer, what? It's got that big box on the back and it's got a lock on it. And I looked at the back of this truck and it had these big concrete, like granite blocks on it. And I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, why don't they have a back end on that truck with a lock on it? Isn't somebody going to steal those? And my dad said, son, those are tombstones. Those weigh about 1,000 to 1,500 pounds each. If you see somebody walk up to that truck and pick up one of those tombstones, do not try to stop them, right? Because he said, he's kind of teaching me the lesson, son, there's always going to be somebody bigger, faster, and stronger than you. And he was teaching me a lesson as a young boy about comparison, right? I need to become the best version of me. If I'm always comparing myself to what somebody else is doing on Facebook, what somebody else is doing with their team, right? Everybody knows when people take selfies out in exotic locations, they're always trying to make it look like more fun than they're really having, right? They got mosquitoes in the background and sweat running down their butt crack. And all you're seeing is glitz and glamming, and they did some Photoshop crap to their photo, right? So don't compare yourself to others. It is poison, okay? If you get your little win and you got your 17 follow-ups done that day, and you look over and Julie's posting on Facebook, I got 18 done, do you really need to beat yourself up, right? No. You won the day, deal with it. Be happy, deal with it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot funner to be happy than it is to be sad because you're looking at what someone else is doing, okay? This is the beautiful thing about Scentsy is it's your business, it's your vision, it's your way. Somebody put choose joy. That sums it up right there. Choose joy, because not choosing joy and not celebrating yourself and what you're doing will have such an emotional, devastating impact on you. It makes life not fun, and nobody wants to do things that are not fun, right?
And you can honestly, and we didn't talk about this before, so he might like kick me under the table, but I'm like, you can probably relate to this idea of being unhappy, right? Because like in your previous job, just like little wins were never celebrated. It was always big, huge goal, and like you're not doing enough, and you're not performing enough. And like, I mean, he made like massive, incredible moves, like completely turned things around, like made more money than they'd ever made before. And they're still like, hey, that's not enough. Like, yeah, you need to go more, and like you need to go a step higher. And like I remember when he would come home from work, and like it would be like a struggle to find joy in that, you know, and like little wins were never ever celebrated ever. And maybe even in some of your like journeys or jobs, or even in Scentsy, maybe you're, you know, I know if you're like outside of Scentsy, little wins are probably not being celebrated. And so you have the opportunity to celebrate your little wins in Scentsy, and that can make a huge impact on your ability to choose joy, right? And your ability to choose happiness, because it is a choice. And as much as it is a choice, when your wins are not celebrated, man, it's hard to choose joy. It really, really is. And I think you can relate to that, can't you?
Yeah. You know, when I went into my last operation in Ohio, the operation was making negative $300,000 a year. And within the first year, I turned it into a positive $1 million a year operation, or near $1 million a year operation, from negative 300,000 a year. And every single day I went to work, somebody was saying, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? It's great you got those goals, but what have you done for me lately? I think the only thing that kept me going back to get kind of punched in the mouth every day was the fact that I was helping people, you know, achieve their goals and achieve their dreams, which was really awesome. But that's something you never have to face, that some of you guys face every day. You never have to face in Scentsy. You do you, and that's the best way to sum it up.
And hopefully you never feel that kind of pressure, you know what I mean, from us or your sponsor or your upline. Like we hope that you feel celebrated and loved and encouraged, like at whatever level of achievement that is right for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point of this, is like to help you find what you want to achieve, whatever that is. And then like, let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate every single little thing. Even if it's like, I'm terrified of going live on Facebook and I did it, like, well, then I'm going to celebrate it. That's not even a little win. That's a big win. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm afraid to do a home party, but you booked one. That's a win, right? Like any time you overcome is a win. It doesn't matter if you earned a level of an incentive. It doesn't matter like if you had 2,000 PRV. It doesn't matter if you earned annual mentor or not. Like there's so many places in your business and things that you can recognize as wins and as like successes. And what's one of my favorite quotes? I say it all the time. The success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And that's so true. Say it with me, write it down, do whatever you have to do. Like success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. That's how you build a business, you guys. That's it. People want to know what the magic sauce is. Small efforts, day in, day out, not quitting. That is the magic sauce. And it's much easier to not quit when you celebrate all your little victories, recognize the wins. So like shout yourselves out, shout it from the rooftops. Text your sponsor, text your director, text your upline, text somebody and be like, guess what I did today? They're going to be so thrilled to hear from you, by the way, just so you know. If you're like, no one's going to care that I sold a 6-pack of wax. Yes, we are. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so dope. I'm so proud of you. For real, we want to hear that stuff. We want to know. So learn to celebrate and find your little victories, like be looking for them and celebrate them. Like, and we can talk about that even another time, like what you do to reward yourself. You know, it's obviously iced coffee and donuts for me, clearly. I'm celebrating every day of my life with iced coffee and donuts. It's fine.
With Chloe. And
Chloe Butt gets a donut every day of her life because she's cute. We always call them treats for existing. Like she gets treats for going to the bathroom, but then she just gets treats for existing because she's so cute and pretty. Yeah. Okay. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I hope that you had like an aha moment, or you just feel inspired, or hope something resonated with you tonight. I put the link to Calendly in the chat box. So Calendly is the where you book coaching calls with Nathan or I. So you can click that link and you can go book a call. You can book a coaching call if you want to have one-on-one coaching. You have to change it there to everybody. Scroll up. He's going to post it again for you, but you can book a coaching with us. So like I said, if you're superstar consultant or above.
Sorry, I don't have Facebook. I don't know how to cut and paste.
I'll take care of it. It's in the comments. You guys can find it, and I'll post it on Radiant Rockstars as well. Anyway, if you want to book one-on-one coaching with us, please go ahead and do that. It's calendly.com/Radiant Rockstars. It's the same link all the time.
I got it.
Little win, babe.
Little win.
Yeah. So anyway, book calls with us. And next week, we're going to get back on the recruiting train. So be ready to join us next week, and we'll dive into recruiting part 3. And we'll see you next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless you have any questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself, hang out, use the chat box. Love you too. Bye, guys. Oh, wait, there's the smell you later. That's what Riley always says. Bye. Good night.